We are in chapter 12 of the Bhagavad Gita. Sorry for the slight delay in arrangement. Okay. Chapter 12, we have to start like this. Om Shri Krishna Paramatmane Namaha Atha Dwadashodhyayaha Bhakti Yogo Nama Dwadashodhyayaha. In this chapter, only of 20 verses, Krishna talks about Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti is not one yoga, but a bouquet of 3 yoga. Sadhana. Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga and Jnana Yoga. 3 yogas come together, form Bhakti Yoga. He talks about all 3. Karma Yoga itself is subdivided into 2. Bhakti is, the Upasana is subdivided into 2. And Jnana is 1. So 5. And there are 13 verses which talk about these yoga, and the last 8 verses talk about phalam, what is the benefit of these yoga. Let us go verse by verse. Let's read verse number 1 of chapter 12. Arjuna uvacha evam satata yuktaye bhaktastvām paryupāsate ye chāpyaksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamāha. Okay, once more. Arjuna uvacha evam satata yuktaye bhaktastvam paryupasate ye chāpyaksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha. This is asking a question. Comparing. So, he is asking a question. There are 2 yogas, you said. And I want to know whether Bhakti Yoga is superior or Jnana Yoga is superior. He is asking this question. Sometimes there are some questions which cannot be easily answered. In fact, the question itself is invalid. For instance, suppose I ask you, see, I can ask you whether this is better or that is better only if they are comparable. I can ask you whether you like coffee or tea or milk, whether you like cool drink or whether you like room temperature drink, whether you would like to have South Indian meal or North Indian. But I can't ask you a question whether you like the food or the plate. I can't ask you a question, would you like the coffee or would you like the cup? I can't ask you questions like that. And if you ask such questions, the teacher, what will he say? An exasperated teacher might, what will say, what a silly question is this? But when the teacher finds that the question has itself stemmed from a certain confusion, the teacher takes extra effort first to make the student understand his own question and then rephrase the question and get it answered. So this is the first 3 verses of this chapter are an amazing expression of this. Like very often when we ask questions, a good speaker will always say, good question. You know why? Is to keep you quiet for a while. Otherwise, you will keep asking questions. So he'll say, to keep you quiet, he'll say, good question. So in the same way, when this question is being asked, Arjun asked this question. Let's see what this question. Let's see how the question itself is. Said Arjuna Vacha, Evam Satata Yuktaye. Acha. Yukta means steadfast. Satatam Yukta, the ever steadfast. Evam, among this, Satata Yuktaye. Bhaktas Tvam Paryupasate. Those who worship you, those bhaktas who worship you. Okay, this is one category. Now, what does he mean by this? Bhaktas Tvam Paryupasate. We have to go back a little earlier chapter and study. There are two types of upasana. One is called Saguna Rupa Ishvara Upasana. Krishna with a Shankha Chakra Gadha, Shankha Chakra Gadadari, Pitambara, Meghavarnam, then Flute Wala, Murlidhar, Giridhar. So it is a Krishna Saguna Rupa Krishna or a Saguna Rupa Ishvara. Then he also introduced in the earlier chapters Aneka Rupa Ishvara. Like for example, when you look at Mahavishnu, you have got Dashavatara. When you can look at Devi, she has Dasha Mahavidya. You have got 1,000 namas, Vishnu Sahasra Nama. So you can do any kind of upasana. All these upasanas are valid. Therefore, there is this question. Hey, 1 minute, please. Who is bothering me? Hello? கீழே வந்திருக்காங்க, நீங்க கீழே போங்க. நான் ஒரு கிளாஸ் எடுத்துட்டு இருக்கேன். இப்போ வந்துட்டீங்கன்னா கீழே வந்து மேடம் வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க. So sometimes it gets onto your nerves. And this phone has been buzzing for the last 40 minutes. So when you say Saguna Rupa Ishvara Upasana, which you and I are familiar with. Vinayaka Chaturthi, how do you do? Chaturbhujam, Vakratunda, Modaka Hasta. That is the Upasana you do. And you also do, how do you do Krishna Upasana, Janmashtami? There is a method of doing Krishna Upasana. Then you do Navaratri Upasana. So all this you have a Saguna Rupa Devi Devata Upasana. Then you have Vishwarupa Upasana, which was taught to us. You look at the entire Vishwa, the entire cosmic Srishti as Deva, as Ishvara. So anything becomes upasana for you. You can do puja to mountains. You can do puja to rivers. I don't know if you have traveled in North India. You should go to Rishikesh sometime. They will do Rishikesh, they will do Ganga Arati. You go down to Kanyakumari, they will do Samudra Puja. So, water bodies are considered devas. Mountains are considered. Now you just take a clod of earth and make it into Ganesha and do puja. If you perhaps visit a place called Shani Shignapur, there is no forming. There is a stone kind of structure and people look at it as Shanishwara and do puja to. So he is asking, there are people who are steadfast and committed who do puja like this. Okay, very committed. And the world is full of such people. Full of such people. He said there is one type of people. They are called yogis. Okay. So Arjuna Vacha, K, who are the best yogis? K, yoga vittama. So when you say who are the best yogis, two types of yogis are being talked about. He says, Satata Yukta, steadfast. Okay. Bhaktaha te paryupasate. People who do Saguna Rupa Ishvara Upasana. One type of people. Okay. As described earlier. Cha api, or another group of people. Aksharam Avyaktam. See, when you talked about Saguna Rupa Upasana, he gave a lot of things. Aksharam Avyaktam. So there is a Saguna Rupa Ishvara Upasana. There is a Nirguna Ishvara Upasana. Which is better? Is Saguna Rupa Ishvara Upasana better or Nirguna Rupa Ishvara Upasana better? Hey, what a difficult question. What a tough question. Because when you read the teacher's explanation, it says, you cannot do Saguna Rupa Ishvara Upasana without Nirguna Rupa Ishvara Upasana is incomplete. Nirguna Rupa Ishvara Upasana, that is the Nirguna Rupa, how can it be? Nirguna Ishvara Upasana is not possible without Saguna. One leads to the other step. This leads to that. So which is better? Please ask this question. There is a question Arjuna asked for on behalf of all of us. This question is asked. Because all of us have this doubt. After studying Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna says, I am Nirguna, Nirguna means consciousness, I am not objectifiable. After listening to all this, then you come home and then they will say, today is what? Today is some puja is there. Let us do Nevedyam. Okay, or you will be chanting, Ishvara is everywhere. You will understand. Ishvara is Sarvagatam. And then when you look at the image there, you will say, you are Ganapati seated on a Mushika as a Vahana. So we have constantly, a battle between what? Nirguna, Saguna. Nirguna, Saguna. It's constant battle. Yeah, I now know Nirguna. Why should I do Saguna? Why can't I remain committed to Saguna all my life? Why should I go into Nirguna at all? These questions keep cropping up all the time. And that is Arjuna's question. And Krishna validates that question. He didn't say, silly question, come with some other question. He didn't say that. So let's see what Krishna says. Very intelligent. Krishna is no ordinary teacher. So it says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna replies, Maya Veshya Mano Ye Mam. Maya Veshya Mano Ye Mam. Nitya Yukta Upasate. Nitya Yukta Upasate. First line, hold line. Maya Veshya Mano Ye Mam. Nitya Yukta Upasate. Shraddhaya Parayopetaha. Shraddhaya Parayopetaha. Te me Yuktatamamataha. Te me Yuktatamamataha. Whole verse. Maya Veshyamano Ye Mam. Nitya Yukta Upasate. Shraddhaya Parayopeta. Petaha. Te me Yuktatamamataha. So this is the verse. He says, Bhagavan Uvacha. Krishna says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. What are the conditions? How should you do Upasana? How should you do Saguna Rupa Ishvara Upasana? Okay, imagine a simple puja that you and I do on, let's say, Janmashtami or on Vinayaka Chaturthi or any puja. Om Sumukaya Namaha, Om Ekatantaya Namaha. Hey, look who is calling at the door. Someone has come and his phone has come here. This is how you do puja most of the time. Is it not? Hey, will you take care of this? Is this ready? Now that fellow will ask for this. He says, Aveshya Manaha. Unwavering focus on the deity. If you don't do puja like this, then it is not called puja. That's all of us. So, Aveshya Manaha. Aveshya Manaha. On what? Upon me. Whereas when we do puja, our mind is aveshya and anything, everything other than Ishvara. Is this ready? Is that ready? Is it not done? Is that not done? Why is the priest does not come on time? Why Nevedya is not ready? Why this fellow is not ready? Why that fellow is not ready? I told my son to get ready, have a bath and get ready in the morning. He has not even got up. They don't care for the puja these days. Tradition is gone. Nobody respects. No reflection on anybody. Mai aveshya manaha upeta paraya shraddhaya, with great faith. When you say upeta paraya shraddhaya, that means that vigraha for you, that Sri Krishna for you, is not a vigraha. It is Sri Krishna. Imagine, we very often give an example. Imagine our Swamiji has come. Now our Swami Dayanandji has come. How would you attend to him? Everything spick and span, everything come later, don't bother. And all of us are waiting, looking at him, looking at his smile, totally focused on Swamiji when he comes home. Total Shraddha. Anybody comes and knocks and says, please don't come. If you are interested, come and sit here. Otherwise, come next week. I'm sorry, I don't have time to fix. Sir, urgent matter, leave it there and go. But Swamiji is here, I will not attend. So, Upeta Paraya Shraddhaya Te Nitya Yukta. It is not once in a year kind of thing. It is not just on Janmashtami day. On the day of Janmashtami, I do it there. The rest of the way, I'm all over the place. No. Nitya Yukta. This is how he does puja every day. There are a lot of such people. 5:30 puja, sit down, means till 8:30 unshaken. Nitya Yukta. Ye upasate. Those who worship me, meditate upon me. Meditate upon me. See, when you do puja, when you do what do you call Eka Rupa, Saguna Rupa Ishvara Upasana, when you do that puja, we have to understand something. It is not that in the mouth you chant something and physically you do something else. You read a paper, you ask, why, what's the score, what's happening? Kaya, Sakaya, Van, Mana, in one line. Body, speech, and mind in one integrated line, align in one alignment. That is called upasana. Okay? When you do puja like this, meditate upon it. The mind is on Ishvara, the chanting is on Ishvara, the body is aligned to Ishvara, everything is aligned to the puja. So when you do puja like this, I consider them true yogis. Mata, me mata, yukta tamaha. They are considered to be the best yogis. Oh my God. So people who do steadfast puja, ekaru, Ishvara, they are considered yogis. Best among yogis. And then what about people, you and me, who are doing, we are doing consciousness and meditating. Somebody taught me that you have to sit in the morning, do nididhyasanam, and do no tadbhrim manishkalamaham na chabhuta sangha. That means I am not a yogi. Is it so? Krishna smiles. You know, the smile indicates that your question should be reworded. It should not only be reworded, it should be understood differently. So he goes to verse number 3. Let's see verse number 3. He says, comparatively, he's not comparing. He says there cannot be a comparison between two incomparable vastus. How can you compare two which cannot be compared? Like these days, they will come and say, was Bradman a great player or Sachin Tendulkar a great player? They played in the two different eras. Bradman retired even before Sachin Tendulkar's parents got married. And you're talking about whether he is better or he is better. Contemporaries, you can compare. At best, you can compare the styles and things like that. The conditions are so different. You can't compare the incomparable. So Krishna says in verse number 3 and 4 go together. ये त्वक्षरम् अनिर्देशम् ये त्वक्षरम् अनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तम् पर्युपासते ये त्वक्षरम् अनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तम् पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यम् च कूटस्थम् अचलम् ध्रुवम्. Once more. ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तम् पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यम् च कूटस्थम् अचलम् ध्रुवम्. So he is talking about, you asked about what is Saguna Rupa Ishvara Upasana, what is Nirguna Rupa, Nirguna Ishvara Upasana, which is better. So he first talked about Saguna Rupa Ishvara Upasana. This is how you do Saguna Rupa Ishvara Upasana. How do you do? Mat Aveshya, mind totally focused on me, steadfast, body, mind and words in alignment, with nothing else in mind, Nitya Yukta, steadfastly, daily, this is how you do the puja. And that person is considered unique among yogis, the best among yogis. Now what is the other one? You talked about Jnana Yoga, Nirguna. He says, do you understand Nirguna? You are talking about Nirguna. Do you understand Nirguna? So this verse is given. I will have to reword the verse so that we understand Nirguna properly. Okay. In one of our morning sessions we did this. I would also like you to reflect on it a little bit. For instance, all of you close your eyes for a short while. I will say something and imagine the object that comes along with that. Okay. Mountain, consciousness. Rivers, consciousness. Clouds, consciousness. Prasada, Laddu Prasada, consciousness. Venkatachalapati, consciousness. Okay? Now, when you talked about mountain, something came in front of you. அந்த டைம் ஆகும், அதை கொடுத்துருங்க, நான் பார்த்து பேமெண்ட் பண்ணிடுறேன். எனக்கு லிங்க் அனுப்பிச்சிட்டாங்க, நான் பேமெண்ட் பண்ணிடுறேன். அனுப்பிச்சிடுங்க. We have once talked in the past, there are three types of pratibandhakas, three types of disturbances. Adi bhautika, adi daivika, adhyatma. So these are adi bhautika disturbances. When you give your car for servicing, it comes for delivery only at the time when you are expecting Avyakta Ishvara, or when you are doing Purna Ishvara. You will say, payment has to be made now. I have to go, sir. What? Take it. Maya, yeah. Agama, Apai, Tansatikshas. We have to have the forbearance to have. So he says, now suppose you said when I said the word mountain, what came to your mind? Mountain? Clouds? So you could objectify a mountain, you could objectify a cloud, you could objectify rivers, you could objectify Venkatachalapati, you could objectify Laddu Prasada, and whatever not connected also you objectify. But after every such word, I also said consciousness. Did you objectify anything? Could you objectify? That's what Krishna tries to highlight. He said, you are talking about an objectifiable form of Ishvara and the non-objectifiable consciousness, and you are asking me which person who does this is better. How can I do that? Objectifiable and that which is not subject to being objectified. not subject to being. What an expression. How can I compare it? And what is the nature of these are subtle. Okay, we'll take time. Slowly we will understand. See, we can complete 20 verses. I can complete in 3 days, but it doesn't get you anywhere. We need to have a deep understanding of it. It should percolate down into our system. It should become your knowledge. Only then it will work. Okay, so I am going to reword this. Paryupasate, worship. Okay, first word. I am not going by the verse order. I am going by the prose order. Avyaktam. Avyakta. Acha. Now, we have 5 sense organs. And the world which we interact with is called prapancha, because we know it by the operation of pancha sense organs. By using these 5 sense organs, shabda, sparsha, gandha, rasana, what? Sparsha, 5 sense organs: sense of touch, sense of smell, sight. All 5. That's why it's called prapancha. You are talking about now. Can you smell consciousness? Can you touch consciousness? Can you see consciousness? So, avyakta means that which is not objectifiable by your sense organs. Avyaktam. Okay. Oh, really? Is there such a thing? Yeah, lots of such things. So you cannot possibly, when I talked about consciousness, mountain, yeah, you could imagine a mountain. But when I said consciousness, could you? So that which is not objectifiable by operation of sense organs is called avyakta. Then one more word. Achintyam. Okay, I need not be able to objectify it as sense by sense organs, but can I have can I conceive it? Can I know it in like I would like to know, like I know an emotion? I'm sad. I'm disturbed. I'm upset. There's words we use. Okay. Uh, can it fit into those categories? He says it is not sense-wise objectifiable. It is not mentally comprehensible as well. Achintyam. True. Okay, I need not be able to mentally conceive it. I need not be able to physically do it. But can you describe it for me? Like these days we use the word awesome. Can you describe from it? Is this anirdeshyam? I cannot describe it for you either. See, what cannot be objectified by sense organs? What cannot be objectified by the mind? What cannot be described? Okay. That akshara means that which does not decay. Everything that you know, you feel, you touch is subject to decay. That's why when you do puja, after the puja, they do what is called, they do visarjan. The form is, visarja. The form is given away into water. Visarjan. Invocation, avahana, at the end of puja, yathasthana, visarjan. So the form has to go away. The nirguna, there is no question of going away. What is the meaning of going away? That which cannot be comprehended by senses, by mind, that which cannot be described, aksharam, that which does not decay. Okay, then is it enough? No. Sarvatragam. Sarvatragam means he is everywhere. He is just a figurative He is everywhere. Hey, he is everywhere doesn't fit. No, it just doesn't fit. Someone is everywhere. No. When I say sarvatra gam, it means consciousness does not have a spatial limitation. I cannot say Ishvara is here and not there. Somebody says Ishvara is nowhere. You put a line between after NOW, Ishvara is now here. And Ishvara, at the same time, is also in heaven. That is the meaning of sarvatra gam. One who does not have spatial limitation is sarvatra gam. One who does not have limitation on account of imagination, one who cannot be limited by imagination, one who cannot be spatially limited. Okay? So, sarvatra gam. So, we saw achintyam, we saw anirdeshyam, avyaktam, sarvatra gam. One more word. Kutastha. See, if you have got to this blacksmith, why go to blacksmith? Go to a jeweler. There will be, he will have a small anvil kind of thing in front of him, on which he will place this gold jewelry, and with a hammer or something, tuck, 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 tuck. Modification is done. Modification of the jewel or the iron piece or something is done on a platform which is steady. Imagine as you're tapping, that also keeps moving, nothing will work. So that has a steady platform on which changes take place. Okay, these are subtle. Okay, we'll spend a lot of time if necessary. So, Kutastha. You see a changing Srishti around you. What I saw 5 minutes ago is so different now. It was sunny and bright a couple of hours ago. It's dark now. Somebody's mood was glorious 5 hours ago. 5 hours later, they are all clouded. It's become change. Changes can take place only on a changeless platform. Variables can happen only on an invariable platform. How many roles do you play? Father, a mother, there's so many people. Father, mother, spouse, neighbor, granddaughter, daughter, daughter-in-law, father, every relation. So when I'm speaking to my father, I am the son. But when I'm speaking to the son, I become the father. Seamlessly the roles seem to change. The father has become the son has become the father. When I talk to my father, the son is talking. When I talk to my son, the son is talking. Father is talking. Seamlessly changes are taking place. Changes can take place. The variables can happen only on an invariable platform. So, aham kutastha, invariable platform. The knower, the observer of all the changes happening around me. Kutastham. Then comes dhruvam. Okay, before that, before dhruvam, achalam. See, one who is spatially not limited, there is no question of movement also for the. See, this Krishna, which we see, that what do you call Vigraha Krishna, can move from Vrindavan to here, from here to Vrindavan. But consciousness, hey, what's the distance between sun and consciousness? What is the distance between the mountain and consciousness? What is the distance between the sun and the moon? We'll give. What's the distance between consciousness and the moon? So, achalam, one consciousness which is spatially limitless cannot have movement. Achalam. Kutastham. Dhruvam. Dhruvam means, once again, Dhruvam stands for one who is one who does not, the achalam and the dhruvam. One is a moving, one who is moving, the other is not moving. Dhruvam is the steady, fixed. So these are the qualifications. Now, while understanding all this, we have to use a little bit of grammar also. We have to understand a little bit of grammar. In grammar, we have something called Visheshana. Visheshana means adjectives. Okay, now suppose I say Aksharam. Consciousness is Aksharam. Aksharam means that which cannot decay. Aksharam Brahma. So Aksharam Brahma is Anirdeshyam Brahma, non-describable Brahman. So Anirdeshyam here is an adjective. That means is there a Brahman which can be described? Careful, okay, they are very subtle. We need to understand it carefully. It will take time. Let's not be in a hurry. That's why I'm going very slowly in this. Is there a Brahman which can be described? Is there a Brahman, the Avyakta Brahma? Is there a Vyakta Brahma? Is there a Sarvatra Gam? Is there a limited Brahma? That means, are the words that are used, Aksharam, Anirdeshyam, Avyaktam, Sarvatragam, Achityam, Kutastham, Achalam, Dhruvam, are they all adjectives of Brahma consciousness? Visheshana? There is a grammatical expression called, they are called, why do we do Murti Puja? We will come, not to worry. Okay. All these are called nouns in apposition. Okay, nobody teaches grammar these days. That's a big problem. Nouns in apposition. Suppose I told you, get me a big blue lotus. So you will go to a pond where lotuses are available. Then you will look for, I wanted a blue lotus. Among the blue lotuses, you will give me a big lotus. So the big blue lotus may be the smallest lotus compared to all the other lotuses. So they are not Visheshana, they are all called qualifying nouns. So that Aksharam Brahma, who cannot be described, who cannot be objectified, who cannot be, who is not specially limited, who cannot be imagined in the sense comprehensible that way, one who is invariable, Paryupasate. How do you do worship of this Nirgunam Brahma? How do you do Paryupasate? How do you worship consciousness which is not objectifiable? Doing puja to Krishna or Unni Krishna or Guriya or Guruvayurappa is so easy. There is a Vigraha in front of you, you do puja, puja, puja. And imagine at the end of it, you say, Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kuto. You are at the end of it saying that I am able to appreciate that it's only a Vigraha. Insightfully, I am able to see the consciousness. That's what you're saying. And that you are able to insightfully see the consciousness has to become your knowledge. So, having described this, Krishna goes further. Let's read the next one and we'll see it in detail next week. Okay. Sanniyamendriya gramam, Sanniyamendriya gramam, Sarvatra samabuddhayah, Sarvatra samabuddhayah, Te prapnuvanti mameva, Te praptuvanti mameva, Sarvabhuta hite ratah, Sarvabhuta hite ratah. So, how do you meditate upon, how do you contemplate upon this Nirgunam Brahma? Nirguna Brahma. So the steps are given in the next verse. Sarva Indriya Gramam Sanniyamya. Indriya Grama means the entire complex of sense organs learn to withdraw into yourself. When you shut your eyes, it is a sadhana not to see anything. It's a sadhana to be able to shut out all the sounds. Even if there are sounds, they don't disturb you. It's a sadhana to filter out all the inessential smells. It's a sadhana. So you have a basic sadhana, you have a madhyama sadhana, you have uttama sadhana, ugra sadhana, all those things are there. So learn the art of withdrawing all your sense organs from the field of their play. Sanniyamya Indriya Gramam. Indriya Gramam is entire complex. At least for a few minutes every day, learn to sit quietly without letting the sense organs run about. Even if, like, when we do the morning meditation, either when you're focusing on your breathing, thoughts may come. Learn to ignore it. It's an art. Sarvatra Samabuddhaya. It means when you say Samabuddhaya, objects are visible in front of you. Samabuddhaya means don't see all the objects as the same. No. Objects are visible in front of you, but you don't classify them into raga. Yeah, I like this object. I don't like this object. I like this smell. I don't like that. I don't like this object. I would like to meditate in the Himalayas and not in Bangalore traffic. I would like to meditate here and not here. Sarvatra Samabuddhaya means keeping your raga dvesha at bay. Raga dvesha are there, but they don't run your life. Sarvatra Samabuddhaya. Then Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. So he has categorized, the teacher has classified, the class categorized the Srishti into two: things and beings. So Samabuddhaya Sarvatra. Whatever you see, you don't say, oh my God, I like this, I don't want this, I wish I had not bought this, I wish I had not invested on this. Sarvatra Samabuddhaya. Then Sarva Bhuta Hite Ratha. Among people that you see, among people who come into your mind, among not just people, among jantus which come into your mind, jantus, mosquitoes and all the critters and all kinds of creatures which come into your mind, you again don't say, I prefer this, I don't prefer that. You are able to be free from the grip of raga dvesha. So in this verse number 4, the teacher says, learn to withdraw your sense organs into yourself. Keep your raga dvesha at bay. Te paryupasate. You have to add from the previous. They do worship. What happens to them? They prapnuvanti mameva. Oh, lovely. We'll have to see the meaning very carefully next week. When you do Saguna Rupa Ishvara, you are considered the best among yogis. You will have Chitta Vishalata, Chitta Buddhi, Chitta Shuddhi, Chitta Vishalata, Chitta Ekagrata. You will have Sayujya. You will be able to have a certain one-to-one with Krishna. But if you are able to do Nirguna Ishvara Upasana, you know what happens? You realize that there is no difference between Krishna and me. Mam eva prapnuvanti. You reach me. Hey, when you do puja, you reach the gates of my darbar and you sit together and we all have fun. But when you do Nirguna Ishvara Upasana, you reach me. The word uses merge into me. Let's forget this merge into me. It is an equation. It is an equation. The left side is, a lot of complications is equal to 1 on the right side. An equation is an equation only because there is an apparent difference between the sides. If the sides were really different, it would be not called an equation. There is an apparent division. This plus this within brackets, minus this, equal to 1. You have to unravel that, solve it using a method. What do they call it? BODMAS. First you do the brackets, then you do the off, then you do the division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. What happens? 1 is equal to 1. QED, quadrat demonstrant. The apparent differences on the left side is the invariable right side. That is Nirguna Upasana, meditation. When it works, it is called Jnana. Jnana Nishtha. When it works and you abide in that, it is called Jnana Nishtha. And working, do Nitidhyasana to get the complete understanding and assimilating into you is called Jnana Yoga. So Krishna briefly explains the difference between Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga with these examples. We will see it in details because there's a lot more study to be done. You can, WhatsApp me your questions or mail me your questions. We'll try and answer that. Swasti Prajabhya Paripaliyantam Nyayena Margena Mahisha Gobrahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasyashalinam Deshoyam Chobarahitah Brahmana Santu Nirbhaya Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Kashpasyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om. The whole thing is understanding. It has to work. It has to work. And for that working, Bhakti Yoga prepares me, gives me the patrata, humility, vishalata, to be able to appreciate. Jnana Yoga consolidates the knowledge. And when it is consolidated, I abide in the knowledge. My responses to the world comes out of the abidance in that knowledge. So 2 types of yogis you are talking about, you are really speaking, they are incomparable. That's what he wants to do. Have a wonderful week. Morning people can meet me tomorrow again. And the rest of the other, we can meet next week. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you
Om
so
Namah
much.
Shivaya. Thank you so much.
Om.
Hari Om.
Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Om. Om.